I'm joined now by Congressman Ro Khanna. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks, Brian. Always a pleasure.
So, Congressman, you introduced a resolution to compel the release of the Epstein files. The House just had the opportunity to vote on it. Not a single Republican voted in favor of beginning debate and releasing the Epstein files. Can I have your reaction first and foremost to this party, a party that has staked so much of their brand, so much of their identity on releasing the Epstein files, now being the sole impediment to actually getting some exposure here?
Well, it's shocking and sad, but the Democratic Party now has clearly become the party that wants to release these files. We are the party that says we can't be protecting rich and powerful men who have abused, assaulted, and abandoned young girls. We are on the side of protecting our children and getting the files out there. The Republicans, yesterday night on the Rules Committee, at least Ralph Norman had some courage and voted for the release, but today none of them voted for the release. And I'm going to keep fighting. There's one person, I can't name right now, but someone who I'm likely going to team up with today on bipartisan legislation for the release. So this is not something that we're going to drop.
Marjorie Taylor Greene came out yesterday and tweeted, "America deserves the truth about Jeffrey Epstein and the rich, powerful elites in his circle. The line is drawn with anybody who abuses children and vulnerable, innocent people. When George Santos is going to prison for 7 years, but Epstein only served 13 months, our justice system is corrupt." She went on to vote against the release of this bill. Can I have your reaction to that?
Well, look, I mean, unfortunately, the way the House works, it's sometimes partisan on these procedural votes. I'm actually hoping with this bipartisan bill that we get Marjorie Taylor Greene and a few others to vote for it with it. Because my goal here is to actually demand the release of these files. And there are probably 10 to 15 Republicans who, in my view, will stand with every single one of the Democrats to demand these release. And if we do that, then it doesn't become a partisan issue. You know, anything that just becomes a partisan issue, there the Democrats go again, talking about Donald Trump, loses its effectiveness. The reason this is so powerful is this is a lot of people who voted for Donald Trump, who said, yeah, the system is rotten. It's corrupt. It's been corrupt for the last 4 decades. Rich and powerful people get better justice and are protected, and the ordinary folks are getting shafted. And if we can partner with them, that we take the populist mantle. And that's really what I'm hoping to do.
Why do you think that you will get 10 to 15 Republicans on a different effort to compel the release of these files if there were 0 Republicans who were willing to put their neck on the line and actually vote for this initial effort to begin debate that would ultimately lead to the release of these files?
Well, look, I wish there were more Republicans who voted on with this bill on the procedural issue. But if they were to vote with us, they would basically effectively for this issue hand control to the Democrats. So it's a hard vote for the other party. But I still believe they should have for the sake of getting the files out. That said, we're going to have a clean bill, a bipartisan bill, that there's no sense of handing over control to the minority party. Mm-hmm. And on that bill, I already have one Republican who's going to be for it, and we're going to work to get other Republicans on it. And then we're going to work for a discharge petition, which means that it would come to the floor of the House if over 218 people sign it. And we know every Democrat's going to sign it. But the point here is that the Democrats need to be on the offense here, say we're the party to release these files, and calling on every Republican to release it. And we've got to get off our high horses. Some people say, oh, this is not statesmanlike, and we should be focused on quote unquote bigger issues. Oh, this is a big issue. This is about trust in government. This is about a government that is protecting rich and powerful men instead of young women. This is about whether people believe in our government, and the Democrats should be engaged in this debate and driving this debate.
Right, and beyond that, I mean, this is an issue that really has gripped culture, and Democrats for a long time have cause problems for themselves by ignoring what people are telling them they care about. And people are clearly saying that they care about this stuff. So we ignore this at our own peril, because this is, for Democrats to say, oh, well, this isn't important because it doesn't have to do with healthcare, but it's important for the people that it's important for. And clearly it's an animating feature in the Republican Party and among independents, and yes, among Democrats out there too. And so, we would be fools to ignore the reality of what Americans are saying that they care about right now. I do want to ask, how quickly do you think that if we're able to use a discharge petition, if we do have those 218 lawmakers sign on to it, how quickly this thing could get to the floor for a vote?
Well, we're trying to craft it in a way that within 7 days we would be able to then solicit the signatures. There's a ripening period. But if we do that, then within a month or two, probably a month, we could get it for a vote. But my point is, this has to be an issue that we're bringing up constantly until those files are released, not a one and done thing. I mean, let's try the discharge petition. Let's put this as an amendment on must pass bills. Let's continue to hammer that the president should keep his promise. The attorney general should keep their promise. They said there's an Epstein client list. Let's see it. Let's see the evidence.
To that point of keeping this in the zeitgeist right now, what are other avenues that Democrats can employ to try and get some information out? I spoke with Congressman Raskin a couple of days ago, where he's going to lean on Jim Jordan, who's the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, to try and compel some information. I don't know if Jim Jordan, especially given his past with suppressing certain information as it relates to the abuse of young people, is going to be the champion here, is going to be the white knight here when it comes to getting the Epstein files released. But that notwithstanding, I do hope that Congressman Raskin is able to put some pressure on him. But aside from that, what other avenues can we take in the meantime while this discharge petition plays itself out, where we can try and compel the release of these files?
Well, we need to push for this discharge petition as step one, push for a House vote. We need to have supporting Chair Raskin, Ranking Member Raskin's efforts to subpoena Bondi, to subpoena the FBI to see why there was not a release. We need to be going out on podcasts like yours. I was just on Flagrant, the Alan, going and making the case of the betrayal and why the Democrats now are calling for the release. So it has to be a all hands on deck strategy that really is driving home the point that we're the party that's calling for the release.
Donald Trump was asked a short time ago whether the Attorney General told him that his name appeared in the Epstein files. Donald Trump said, no, she's just given us a very quick briefing. These files were made up by Comey, Obama, and they were made up by Biden. So what do you make of the fact that it very much seems like Donald Trump is right now beginning to lay the groundwork to be able to discredit the entirety of these files, because clearly he doesn't want them released?
Well, they can't even get their stories right. I mean, some people are saying, well, the files don't exist. We've released everything that there's to release. Now, Donald Trump is saying, no, they exist, but they were written by Obama and Clinton and Comey. Well, even if that's true, that's his theory, then just release them. Let the public decide. Release what is there. You can then spin it whatever way you want, but the key point is to release them. And I think that if we continue this drumbeat, he's going to have to release the files that are there.
Do you have any concern that in the event he did opt to release them, that they might alter them in some kind of way so that they would be less incriminating to potential members of this administration?
Sure. I mean, I think there's always the concern about, are they going to alter them? There's a concern about the video that was released by Epstein and whether that was altered. But, we live in such a sophisticated age, social media and independent verification, that I think it would be a very dangerous game to play. But right now, we should just be pushing for a full, transparent release. If they start to release things that are fishy or suspicious, then we should call them out on that.
And finally, let's finish off with this. You'd mentioned that you'd gone on some of these podcasts, that you went on Flagrant, you went and spoke with Theo Von. While you're talking about this issue in particular, what seems to be the most resonant aspect of all of this? Like, if you can give a left-leaning audience some idea of what is most potent in terms of speaking about this, so that we can be better at persuading folks in the center and on the right, what would that be?
Well, you're very good, Brian. Far for me to give you advice, but the basic point is that the system is rigged, that so many people are having a hard time just paying rent, getting a house, supporting their families. And they then see the rich and powerful being coddled by government, being protected, having a different system of justice. And these same rich and powerful people have sucked so much of the wealth out of our society and left working class people shafted. And they resent that. Anyone would resent that. And this is about, are we going to protect rich and powerful people, or are we going to stand with ordinary Americans to take their government back? I believe that message of standing up for people, standing up for our children, standing up for our basic values against the interests of the elite is a very powerful populist message and sentiment that resonates across the political divide.
Perfectly put. Well, thank you for your leadership on this and getting out there and making sure that we can, get these Republicans on record with these votes, and for the work that you're doing, especially with getting through to people not within the confines of the liberal bubble that so many people, in this bifurcated media ecosystem end up speaking with. So appreciate that and appreciate your time today.
Well, your voice is so important, Brian. Keep it up. Thank you.